Hi there, everybody. This is Alchemist 2, and I'm back again with another book review. This is the second book of The Lost Heroes of Olympus by Rick Riordan, whom I am a massive fan of. I believe that he is a spectacular writer. The way that he writes is very vivid, and he draws you into his stories immediately. And this includes both the Greek pantheon and the Roman pantheon, which I find very intriguing and fascinating because I myself love mythology, have ever since I was a little girl, particularly that of the Greek. I thought that the second book, was just chock full of action and adventure, and it has the typical Riordan humor that we're all so familiar with. And honestly, I really loved it. I just felt like it was uh, a spectacular story. It was tremendous. It flowed from one scene to the next, and the characters that were involved, I absolutely adored them. Particularly Hazel. I thought Hazel was just incredible. She is the daughter of Pluto, and we learned something very interesting about her past. I'm not going to give that away, but it just makes you hate Gaia all the more, which is sort of ironic because a lot of people consider Gaia as a good character, not a villainess, and we learn why she's so jaded and her reasons for um, releasing Alcyonus. Well, I'm not going to get into that, but it's it is just a book that you cannot put down. I finished this in about 2 days. It really isn't that long, but it is positively marvelous. It is the most sensational book. And being a fan of Rick Riordan, I can't say enough good about this particular book. Uh, I give it 4 stars. I give it 4 stars and 2 thumbs way up. And of course, this has a book that follows it in the fall. I've already ordered it on my Nook, so I have something to look forward to in the fall. And I am going to go ahead and give you an update as to what I am working on. This is my mock poster for individual. I know you can see shades on the back. Don't pay any attention to that. I know that Benjamin looks quite a bit like Dexter. I don't know if I intentionally meant for that to happen, but I always wanted a ginger hero as my doctor. So that was the reason why I did that. Cynthia kind of looks like River's song. I don't know if that was intentional or not. Probably was, except Cynthia's hair is not so long as River's. But Cynthia sort of reminds me of my mother in just the way that she looks, except my mother, she wasn't at all tan, and when she went out to the sun, she would burn. So, yeah, she had to be extremely careful, but that's another story to be told for another time. But basically, the whole story of Individual, and I will read the synopsis. Bionic woman Cynthia believes she is, actually, she doesn't. Bionic woman Cynthia, I should say, falls for one of the robotic engineers. I had to tweak this. Yeah, I just tweaked it. That is observing her, but he tells her their love can never come to pass, which she doesn't take very well. And this could have easily been transformed into a slasher film or horror film, but I decided not to do that. And she's very straightforward, because at first I wasn't going to make her that way, but this is her programming. She wasn't programmed to lie. She always tells the truth. She she's in control of her emotions, or what she understands to be emotion. Because I'm gonna give away a spoiler. My main character, Benjamin, whom I love dearly, he he lost his wife, Eleanor. Eleanor died. That doesn't really say how she died, but I'm thinking it was contact with MRSA in some way, shape, or form. She was involved in a wreck, and she was fine. There were no. She had some lacerations and whatnot, and she was taken to the hospital. And when she was there, she got a nosocomic infection of MRSA, and the MRSA killed her, which was actually what happened to Jim Henson, sadly. It's true. But that's I thought that I would put that in there just because well, it's not really in there. I don't go into how she died, just that she died, and that he he was Dr. Griffin, as his name is. Oh, I wonder where I got that from. Benjamin Griffin. He might have placed her thoughts, her dreams, and her personality into this bioroid unit named Cynthia. Right now, the AI Institute Incorporated, they have two models. They have Aida and Vincent. And Aida and Vincent are, your typical, for lack of a better term, houseroid, which comes from Time of Eve, if you've seen it. I kind of got my idea from that. Was wondering what else I was going to write recently, but I'm going to get into the whole clinginess factor when he tells her, well, it can never come to pass between us, since you are, how do I say this without making you feel sadness, because that was one thing that he never wanted her to feel. He wanted her to be happy, because in essence he created Cynthia to forget Eleanor. So it's very different and interesting. The second illustration that I have are characters from characters from Placard Knight and the Brave Peasant. And my favorite characters are two star-crossed lovers at the very top, Solomon and Paris. And Valiant, at first you love to hate Valiant, but later on he becomes he realizes the error of his ways. Of course, I've got a Ginger in there. I have a special place in my heart for Ginger, so don't sue me. It's probably because I have it in my family, but Curio, God love him. He he is the footman of Valiant, and he does everything that Valiant doesn't want to exert his energy to do. Then, of course, Bernard. Bernard is that kind of character that is nonplussed about everything, and he hardly ever shows any emotion. And he just is the perfect servant. He'll do whatever his master wants him to do. Of course, I've got the progeny of Solomon and Paris, which would be Adara and Hubert, and I've got Valiant and Arya. Arya is a very free-spirited character, much like Paris, and she's got her own ideas, and she has her own. She's an individual, and through she and Valiant, they give birth to this lovely creation down here, Lyra. And actually, you can probably guess where I got Lyra's name from, if you know anything about the type of books I enjoy reading. But I personally think that Slacker Knight and Brave Peasant was probably one of my best stories I've ever written. It was over 7,000 words long, which I never intended it to be, because I kept writing. I thought, good lord, this story is going on forever. I need to end it. And I came to a conclusion with it, and I thought, oh, I'll just have a happy ending, like a lot of fantasy tales do. And I did, and I also had a little bit of humor with it. I was thinking of kind of Terry Pratchett-esque humor. I was more tongue-in-cheek than Terry is. I was thinking that my humor, I'm not sure if I can compare myself to him or not, but my humor is kind of zany sometimes. It's out there. And I'm hoping people enjoyed it. I haven't gotten any compliments as of yet, but maybe I will in the future. We'll just have to wait and see. So that's pretty much what I've been up to, and I'm still working on of course, Individual, and I'm working on the sequel to Anti-Gravity, as well as Zombie Ethics, which I've been looking for the original everywhere on fictionpress.com, and I can't seem to locate it, but I will eventually, and once I do, I will be able to write the sequel. It's going to be sort of strange because my main characters are in heaven, of all places, and maybe I should be writing more about the children that got left behind. Now, that would be more interesting, I think. But I believe that the two can fend for themselves. The zombies are pretty resilient and innovative creatures when they have to be. Basically, that's pretty much all I have to relay to everybody out there. And stay cool, drink plenty of water, because it is hot. Yeah, right, duh. Of course you know that. I didn't have to tell you. Stay cool. Don't go out unless you absolutely have to. Take my word for it. It is torrid. That we will survive. We will survive this, dagnabbit.